Assalamu alaikum. I am your host Reem bin Muhammad Rafi, and I am just today going to talk about the education which we give it to the kindergarten. And there always been hue and cry about the various countries who made laurels, and they developed that there was something wrong in the education system which the whole entire Muslim world or Islamic world has been following and taught, or their syllabus was changed by the occupiers, whether they were British or the Americans or they colonized, all the colonizers. But I'm going to just tell you that it's a foul cry. If you want to follow a religion and your faith, then I give you that what we are not doing is what the Muslims are not doing. They are not following their faith. And the next is that if you let the child be dependent on everything you do for that child is always going to be dependent. And these are the two basic things missing but not only in Pakistan but in India, in all the developing countries. And unless you change that radically, and this is going to happen. Now, unfortunately, with the level of education, then you can have a situation develop like what developed in just recently Bangladesh. But nobody seems to take any heed of that can happen. Next to is the line is in India. You look at the corruption of India and look at how fattened Modi and Modi's friends have been, the Chief Justice of Supreme Court, the Election Commissioner there, all his friends, you can see from all the Advani, they all contracts were given to them, and obviously there were kickbacks, and this is why Modi is one of the most corrupt and the richest person there. And how do you think the people are going to leave him? The Indians are going to rise, maybe in the form of students or maybe in the form of it, and they're going to take their revenge of how they killed they lynched Muslims, how they killed the Dalits, how they burned the Christians alive, and all the minorities. Nobody is safe in there, even the moderate Hindus. And BJP is not Hindu. Hindu is a very big faith, and it's only about not less than 1%. These extremist Hindu are, who just usurp the right, and there, so it's there. And next to India will be Pakistan. Unfortunately, when you look at the demonstrations in Balochistan, you get scared, and instead of looking at that and trying to contain it and teach their own populations, you are coming up with almost exactly what Hasina Wajid did. Now, the recent arrest, the insistence, you talk about Netanyahu, but look at the insistence of your own people here in Pakistan, or look at the insistence of people in India. And I'm sure it will find the same thing in Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Egypt, where there is a need that to change the thinking. And the basic thinking is that if you want to stick to the faith, you have something common each of you to follow. And faith does not teach you to do unjust, and cannot you threaten the bears, which is the corruption is deep down rooted in both Pakistan Army, the Indian Army, the Pentagon. And I think you know that about the Rajiv Gandhi, and the kickbacks there. How was he blamed? Whether they were submarines or they were guns. Same story we have in our naval, the guy who ran away and was brought back. And I'm not saying that everybody's, and obviously there isn't. There are damn good, honest people in every country, Pakistan, India, Saudi Arabia, everywhere. Unfortunately, they are the one who are subdued, and the few people with some very big, ambition, they are the one who are the mischief, and they keep on doing it. So I hope
यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रोफेसर रहमान और प्रोफेसर अस्कारी ने अपनी जनवरी 2010 की एक रिसर्च में पाया कि दुनिया में मुस्लिम्स और इस्लामिक कंट्रीज से ज्यादा नॉन इस्लामिक कंट्रीज इस्लामिक प्रिंसिपल्स और एथिक्स को फॉलो करते हैं। मुस्लिम्स अपनी नमाज, रोजे और हिजाब इन सभी चीजों को लेकर बहुत केयरफुल रहते हैं और उसे अपनी रूटीन में भी फॉलो करते हैं। लेकिन इस्लाम सिर्फ नमाज पढ़ने या रोजा रखने से पूरा नहीं होता। इस्लाम जीवन जीने का एक तरीका भी सिखाता है, जिसे सबसे ज्यादा न्यूजीलैंड में फॉलो किया जाता है। दूसरे स्थान पर लक्समबर्ग और तीसरे पर आयरलैंड आता है। चौंकाने वाली बात तो यह है कि मलेशिया 38 पोजीशन पर आता है और सऊदी अरब 131वें नंबर पर। रिसर्च के दौरान एक चाइनीज बिजनेसमैन बताते हैं कि मुस्लिम बिजनेसमैन उनके पास 2 नंबर नकली आइटम्स पर किसी फला फेमस कंपनी का लोगो लगाने का ऑर्डर लेकर आते हैं और खाना खाने के लिए वह ये कहकर मना करते हैं कि ये हलाल नहीं है, इसलिए मैं इसे नहीं खाऊंगा। अब आप सोचिए, क्या 2 नंबर नकली सामान बेचना हलाल है? लॉर्ड बर्नार्ड शॉ ने कहा था कि इस्लाम सबसे अच्छा धर्म है और मुसलमान सबसे बुरे फॉलोअर। इस्लाम के 2 हिस्से हैं। पहला हिस्सा है ईमान। ईमान परवरदिगार पर उसके बंदे का फेथ है। जो चीजें इस्लाम में बताई गई हैं उन्हें फॉलो करना, जैसे नमाज की पाबंदगी करना, और जिन चीजों की इस्लाम में मनाही है उनसे हर हाल में दूर रहना, यह है ईमान। और इस्लाम का दूसरा हिस्सा है एहसान। एहसान परवरदिगार के एक बंदे से उसके दूसरे बंदे के बीच की डीलिंग्स की बात है, जो सही सोशल नॉर्म्स को फॉलो करने से समझ आता है, जैसे किसी का हक नहीं मारना, झूठ नहीं बोलना, गलत काम नहीं करना, अपने काम में जस्ट रहना, जो कि नामी मुस्लिम देशों में नहीं हो रहा है। लोग अपनी रोजे, नमाज या यूं कहें कि अपने ईमान के बारे में तो कॉन्शियस हैं और उसे फॉलो भी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जहां बात समाज में, अपने काम में, लोगों से फाइनेंशियल डीलिंग में किसी दूसरे का हक मारने की आती है, वहां मियां भाई बिल्कुल नहीं सोचते। टोपी लगाकर, दाढ़ी रखकर गलत काम करते चले जाते हैं। वह ये भी नहीं सोचते कि वो इस अटायर में अपनी पूरी कम्युनिटी को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं। अगर इस्लाम के दोनों हिस्से साथ में फॉलो नहीं किए जाते हैं तो इस्लाम अधूरा रह जाता है और मुसलमान का जो असल मतलब है, मुसलसल ईमान, वो भी नहीं रह जाता है।
We will learn from others and change ourselves.
Do you know what Chinese kindergartens are like? While kids in other kindergartens eat, sleep, and play games, kids in this Chinese kindergarten do laundry and cook, learning self-reliance. They have outdoor stoves proportionate to their height, and they make their own meals every day, from washing and chopping vegetables to cooking. They eat their own cooked meals with such gusto you'd think they're licking the plates clean. After eating, they voluntarily clean up and even line up to wash dishes. The principal assigns tasks based on the kids' interests to foster their hands-on skills. They start working right after meals, making baskets or knitting scarves for themselves and even using sewing machines to make clothes. They embroider, weave mats, and even make their beds. They're taught independence from a young age. The older kids can cook a meal from scratch, and the younger ones are adept at kneading dough and making pancakes, making chefs jealous. They even squeeze their own milk and make juice from scratch. From washing and cutting fruit to the final product, they do it all themselves, with teachers offering guidance. After eating and drinking, they get busy with various activities like embroidery, building walls with mud, making puzzles, drawing, and making decorations. The girls can even practice makeup and hairstyling, becoming professional hairstylists upon graduation. They never skip school because there's just too much to do. Some netizens say this is real hands-on education, unlike other kindergartens where teachers worry about kids getting hurt. Here, they face challenges head-on, with special forces-style training, jumping rope while playing basketball, climbing ropes, and building giant Ferris wheels. They learn to ride balance bikes and practice martial arts. There's no crying when dropping kids off, they run straight to class. Fighting over toys? Non-existent. Everyone's too busy with their own tasks to bother with that. This is what childhood memories should be like. If it were your child, would you choose this kind of kindergarten?
यूनिवर्सल टेलीविजन को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। उसके बाद बेल बटन पे क्लिक करें और अपने कमेंट्स के सेक्शन में अपने कीमती जो ख्यालात का इजहार ज़रूर